This is where they do these things, and it's so transparent what they're doing. I mean, you don't have to be a degree in political science to figure out what's going on here.
One ACLJ victory at the district court level. We represent 74 members of Congress, thousands of you, in the fight against the Biden administration. The idea that the stimulus funds, they could limit states' abilities and ban states, prohibit states from lowering or cutting taxes if they wanted to accept any of these stimulus funds. The courts have agreed that that is unconstitutional.
There were 6 stimulus bills passed during the pandemic. Jay, the first 5 of them that were passed during the Trump administration, all of them were widely bipartisan. Republican administration worked with Democrat members of the House and the Senate. Jay, each of those first 5 passed the United States Senate with more than 90 votes. So that gives you just an idea of how closely the two parties work together. But when the Biden administration came in and there was a need for a 6th stimulus bill, rather than take the bipartisan deal that was on the table, they decided to use the reconciliation process and pass a bill with only Democrat votes.
Why would the federal government tell, let's say, Tennessee or Georgia or New Hampshire, here's the money, and you can raise taxes on your people during a pandemic, but you can't lower them? And does that make any economic sense? No.
This is a political power grab by the Democrats in Washington, and they're basically saying we are going to try to rebalance the entire economy of the nation by preventing interstate competition, which is possible under the United States Constitution.
One more key point here. It's not just for this year. You can't do it all the way through 2024. If you think they pulled the date of 2024 just coincidentally out of the air, I've got another thing coming.
Why would they do this? What is this helping?
Basically, the approach that the Biden administration has selected is to grant high-tax blue state governments shelter from red state competition, and they've done so by essentially, in my opinion, violating the Constitution.
Think about this. Any time in the next 4 years, as states are trying to deal with how to educate children coming out of a pandemic, if they pass any sort of school choice measure that results in a reduction in state taxes, that would trigger this provision.
So Ohio and other states have fought back. We represent 74 members of Congress and thousands of ACLJ supporters and ACLJ members. And at the district court level, the Biden administration has lost. They were told that this was unconstitutional by the judge. It will, I'm sure, likely be appealed by the Biden administration.
Man, your team in Washington was able to put together quite an impressive group of members of Congress that we're representing, in addition to our ACLJ members.
Very fortunate to be joined by 74 members of Congress, 19 members of the United States Senate, and 55 members of the United States House. Jay, if I could just quickly mention a couple of them, because we selected the leads here specifically for a reason. On the House side, you had Jim Banks, who's the chairman of the Republican Study Committee. He was a co-lead. In the Senate side, Jay, you had 2 co-leads. These are very important. The ranking member of the Senate Finance Committee, Mike Crapo. This is the committee with jurisdiction over this program. He co-led the brief. And then this goes to Jordan's point about other tax reductions, not just tax cuts, tax reductions. Tim Scott from South Carolina co-led this brief with us. Jay, as you know, he's a champion on the issue of school choice.
To report on this victory at the district court level, you're starting out that way at the district court level. Obviously, it will make its way through the Court of Appeals. But ultimately here, it's about putting down markers, saying, when are we going to fight back against this administration's overreach, trying to take advantage of during a pandemic, of states' abilities to be flexible.
We are centralizing power in Washington. It's a power grab, and I think this judge was absolutely right in rejecting it.
I think it's fantastic, and the court's conclusion was also fantastic, saying that this was totally unconstitutional what they did. But as Jordan said, that battle's not over, because what's going to happen now is going to be an appeal to the U.S. District Court for the District of Columbia.